It was an emergency foster from Kev. Started off with an appeal on the Lincolnshire Greyhound Trust chat page. No photos, nothing at all apart from the fact that Billy and Titch needed to be in a home. Various reasons were given on there, but nothing in detail. At which point I didn't really take much notice because we'd not long lost Lola and Star, and I wasn't at that point ready to have any more dogs at that point because of the experiences of going through that loss, if you like, still on that grief mode, I suppose. And then a couple of weeks later, Kev put on a photo that is on the poster now, so they are the poster boy and poster girl of the trust. At which point I showed Karen at school, because we were at school, and I said, what do you think? So she said, well, yeah, go for it. And I thought, well, we had Callum's wedding in the April. July we were going on a cruise, and I couldn't see a way around of them being fair if we took them on, of then having to send them back to kennels and all the issues that would go with that. So Karen promptly says, I'll look after them for you. I'll stay overnight for the wedding, blah, blah. And on it went. So phoned Kev and he said, absolutely brilliant, but it will probably be a 3-month foster if that's okay, because we just want a little bit of time, give them time in a home, bit of respite from the kennels because of the length of time they'd been there. Is that all right? So I said, absolutely fine. And they've never gone back. We've never looked back. So an emergency foster has actually turned into giving Billy and Titch their forever home. So quite happy with that as well. They coped really, really well. And I can remember the first day that we got them. We took them onto the field at the back of the house just to give them a bit of a walk, because it was really hot that day as well, from what I can remember. So just went onto the field. They did their stress wheeze, etc. Had a bit of a look around, sniff and everything else. And then when they were ready, brought them into the house, and they just came straight in. We left them to it for a couple of hours, huffing and puffing, gave them some water, tried to give them some treats, weren't really interested. We just had them for a couple of hours, but within 3 hours, Billy was on the settee next to me and Titch was upside down next to Frank. So they settled really, really quickly, but they took probably about 6 months before they realised they weren't actually going anywhere, because there was always a possibility that they would go back to the original owner, or they could have been taken back to kennels. But after 6 months, I said to Frank, there's no way they're going back anywhere. I don't care, they are not going back. They are ours now. So I then just pestered Mandy all the time to actually keep them. But it was 2 years down the line, so we've actually had them officially 18 months. But 2 years down the line, in October, we got the go-ahead, to go to say, yes, they are yours. 9 times out of 10, it can be a change of circumstance with an owner. Could you look after the dogs for a little while for me, please? And then those circumstances get sorted out and the dogs can go back to their original owner, which is absolutely fantastic. Conversely, it works out that the owner might not want the dogs back again for whatever reason. That's not for us to worry about. So that's when it can become a failed foster, because you've grown attached to the dogs and you get to a point where it's like, they are not going back. You don't know what the circumstances are, neither should you. But there's no way that Billy and Titch were going back. We didn't know all the story, and we still don't know the whole story, which is how it should be. But again, you literally go with your heart. It overrules your head big time with a greyhound. Once they wiggle their way into you, especially with Titch, she's got these eyes that they flutter at you. They just look at you as much as she looks you straight in the eye. She's got so much eye contact. And that's the other thing with greyhounds, they've got so much eye contact, whereas some other breeds don't necessarily have that. She will just look you straight in the eye and you know exactly what she's after. So yeah, no, greyhounds are just a lovely breed for any age as well. So they get on with children absolutely fine. We've never had any issues with either of them with that. Titch doesn't particularly like children, but she's desensitized now to that. So she will stop and wait for children to pass. But before, she'd just literally hide behind Frank as well. I'm not going anywhere near. Get out, just absolutely froze, didn't she? Absolutely froze. But she'll just do her own thing now. She's not too worried. We can get her on the field and the football's out there, as long as we stay on the top, and she'll go off to the lane and everything. So she's happy with that, but she's very aware of what's going on around her. They are very laid back. They're very quick at adapting to your lifestyle, but then you have to adapt with them and teach them an awful lot when they come straight out of kennel. When they come into a home, it's like, oh, what do I do? It's almost like a rabbit in headlights, because they've never been in a home. They've got so much sensory going on, but as soon as you get their routine, so breakfast in the morning, tea at night or whatever routine you want for that. As soon as they're in a routine, they settle really, really quickly. But they're not that demanding, but they are so loving. You get such a lot from them. It's unbelievable. So, and I wouldn't be without them. I wouldn't go back to another breed now. You know, you can go for, people say 2 20-minute walks. That's the biggest myth on the planet. Lola and Star would walk for 4 miles, no problem. Titch, was it through COVID? We found parts of the village we never knew existed. So, because we'd just let her go for the walks, and Billy's quite happy to plod along behind. I think that's a male thing anyway. Ladies take the lead, male stands behind, which is quite nice. So, yeah, but they teach us as much as we can teach them. They're brilliant. Greyhounds are definitely in our hearts now. They you know, it's true what they say. They choose you as much as you choose them. So it's just that circumstances being in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the right time for the dogs, depending on how you want to look at it. So I think we're lucky and fortunate enough that we've had 4 really, really lovely dogs, and we've always had backup from the trust as well. So if we've had any issues or any queries, any worries, it's literally pick up the phone. Mandy's always at the end of the phone. Kev's always at the end of the phone. Every time he goes into the vets, from the girls on reception, they've got on his notes now 2 gravy bones in half. So he has those when he's on reception. Then we go into the consulting rooms for his librella. Claire is always on hand to give the injection. 2 gravy bones in half are ready for him there. So he comes out absolutely gravy boned out by the time we come out. Back to the car. We have to go via Pets at Home because he refuses to get in the car. So we go back to Pets at Home. He shoots off round to the treats because he knows on the bottom right hand side in there, the lid is very rarely on. So he goes mind surfing, or whatever you want to call it. So his nose is in. I say, Billy, get out, get out, get out. And the girls are saying, it's fine, we know Billy, it's fine. So he's got sort of a home in the vets, he's got a home at Pets at Home. So they all really look after the pair of them. So absolutely brilliant. If you foster, you could probably say 9 times out of 10, you are not going to want to give them back. So I would seriously think about fostering. If Kev came up and said, could you do an emergency foster again? Because normally Lincolnshire Greyhound Trust don't offer fostering as a rule. I would recommend fostering any time if the situation is right for you as well, and the circumstances are right for you. And again, be prepared to keep them on, because you will not want to give them back.